You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? If you like lots of movie stunts with your romance, in episode 5 we cover The Fall Guy. Beware, this episode is filled with spoilers, so if you want to see this movie, and you should, you might want to do so before listening. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
You find yourself in the unique position.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do with her?
Put yourself in my place.
What would you do?
Oh, well, put yourself in my position. This doesn't sound too good.
What would you do?
How do you want to handle this?
What would you do? Put yourself in my shoes, would you?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Just put yourself in their shoes.
Now it's your turn.
So, today we are talking about Fall Guy. He is a stuntman, and like everyone in the stunt community, he gets blown up, shot, crashed, thrown through windows, and dropped from the highest of heights, all for our entertainment. I loved this movie.
Yeah, I was really entertained by this movie. It was, I know we don't do movie reviews, but there's been a lot of hype behind this movie, and I actually thought the movie exceeded the hype, which is pretty rare. It was just very well done. I didn't even realize, and you pointed out that this was actually based on like an 80s TV show.
Right, the original TV show with Lee Majors, and it was not normally the kind of film that I think I would be into, but it was just fun. It was just a fun movie. It felt like a summer movie, just a fun, easy breezy, laughs, but explosions, but still a plot line and some romance. I really liked it. So
yeah, there were enough twists that it kept me entertained and like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but there was a couple of things I was like, I did not see that coming, and usually I do. So
what would you do if you were thrown from a plane and out a window and out a helicopter and into the ocean and blown up? And
yeah, it's interesting because there's multiple perspectives on this one.
Let's try to be a little mindful of spoilers.
Okay, I'm mindful that there's going to be spoilers, and if you haven't seen it, maybe you should watch it first and then come back and check this episode because
nobody ever comes back. Don't send people away.
Well, hopefully they've already seen it.
Don't ruin it.
Hopefully they've already seen it.
Okay. So yes. Anyway, what would you do?
Well, it was interesting because I think it was pretty natural to have the whole emotional regression after the fall. Like he lost his entire identity.
Okay. So no one knows what you're talking about. So let's give some context here.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, he falls and breaks his back on a stunt. And he's out of action for 18 months and just completely goes into an emotional hole and shuts out everyone around him, including the girl on set who he was seeing. And it's weird. I feel like maybe she should have had a little bit more understanding on that.
Well, based on the timeline, she stuck with him for 6 months, and then he pushed her away. So I don't know how much more understanding. Maybe this is the in real life part we'll talk about, because you can only help someone so much when they push you away.
And no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she shouldn't move on, but she definitely seemed to harbor a massive grudge against him. And I feel like that's maybe where the line should have been drawn, because we are humans, we are emotional. And sometimes if our world gets turned upside down and we've completely lost our identity, like we tend to shut everyone out. And that's not a him thing. That's a human thing. I've done it before. When I lost my company back in 2009, I was not in a good place for a while. I mean, it actually led to a divorce and generally not a great time in my life, but I lost the major thing that was my identity. So,
well, she stuck with him for 6 months. He pushed her away, completely disappeared from everything and everyone. A year passed.
Well,
so
okay, I guess I missed that part. I thought that they had been seeing each other for about 6 months. Then the accident happened and he disappeared completely.
They had been seeing each other on set. Then the accident happened. 18 months passed. Then later in the film, we learned that she was with him, helping him for the first 6 months. And then he pushed her away. Then the next year happened, and then they met again. So, I mean, you can't expect her to be a nun waiting for someone who pushed her away and fell off the face of the earth.
And again, I'm totally fine with the fact that she eventually said, screw this, I got to go. It was the whole, like, I think you just have to be a little more understanding.
Okay, so what would you do?
On which one?
Well, we're talking about the movies and what we would do in real life. So are you her? Are you him? What would you do?
Well, if I'm him, I'm doing exactly what he's done. I mean, he had to come out of his hole and then eventually come to her and say, oh my God, I am so fucking sorry. I completely screwed that one up. And you're just apologetic as deep as you can go. If I'm her, I'm a little more understanding. And if he comes to me like that, I mean,
but he didn't. She had to torture him on set, and we'll leave that fun for if you haven't seen the film yet. But she had to torture him on set to then prompt this conversation.
yes, but
And she was caught off guard by seeing him to even begin with.
But you have to remember that
I don't have to remember
Gail
anything.
told him that she specifically
Gail
wanted.
was the producer in the film.
Yes, so she specifically said that she wanted
Yes.
him there. So in
The producer
his
lured
eyes,
him.
she was very ready to
Yes.
accept and have him around. So he was caught off guard when he found out that she didn't want him there.
So what would you do?
I think that's what I was just saying.
Right. I just don't want to get lost in the nuances of the film because it was so good, and we don't want to completely spoil the entire plot line for anyone. So
No,
it
I mean,
sounds like we're
I have no
focusing
problem
on-
spoiling the plot. I've got none.
So if it sounds
We've
like
already
we're-
given the spoiler alert.
It sounds like we're focusing on the relationship part of it is the breakup. And so in real life, if the person you were with had an accident and they were struggling with it and then they just couldn't deal with it anymore, said, I can't manage the, he had a broken back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. So are you saying someone pushed you away and you would just stay, or
No, I'm not. You'll put up with as much as you can put up with, and at a certain point, you'll say, "I can't do this anymore," and you'll walk away. And you'll
which
be
one is this? Which character are we?
either really. I mean, more her. Like, yeah.
Well, she wanted to be there for him.
Well,
though.
yeah, exactly. But he pushed her away.
Right.
So okay, she left.
Okay.
But I think. I mean,
I don't know if this is one of our better episodes.
well,
So let's move on to something a little bit more fun.
I'm just saying she should, in retrospect, have a little more understanding that it wasn't the best version of him that was pushing her away. It was a worst version of him. And he was going to come out of that and been like, oh shit. It's like when you get drunk and you do things. And when you come back and you're sober, you're like, oh my God, I am so fucking sorry for whatever the hell it is I did last night. Because you're the worst version of yourself. And that's kind of where he was. He was just a worst version.
Sure.
If you're asking me if I would be a stuntman, hell no. I would break everything. That's it. I would just be in a full body cast. Like,
My mom dated a stuntman when I was young. His name was Peter. I think he was Polish. I remember he had I can't remember his last name, but he was actually at the time one of the stuntmen that was one of the best about setting himself on fire.
oh,
Yeah.
well,
so
that's relevant from the movie.
That is my stuntman story from my childhood, Peter, who set himself on fire.
I do not have a stuntman story. I never dated a stuntman.
I remember he was short and he had dark hair. He was nice.
So he was a Tom Cruise double.
No. Tom Cruise was little baby.
Yeah,
Cruise back
yeah,
then.
I know.
But it was an interesting film in the fact that there's so many things we could talk about, so many plot twists, so many of put ourselves in their shoes between double agent types and
You know what? I mean, and again, I am sorry to anyone if you've gotten this far and you haven't realized that there's all sorts of plot spoilers here. I'm sorry. I'm going to go a little deeper on this one. And I never remember character names. I'm just going to tell you, I'm the
you
worst.
just said Gail.
Okay. I remembered that character's name. The main actor.
Yeah.
The-
Holt.
No. No, he's the stuntman.
Oh, okay. Well, he was the main character.
Well, no, the main actor.
Oh, the actor that he was
the
the
actor
stunt
he was
double for.
that he was doubling for,
Yes.
who
His
turns
name was
out to
Tom.
basically be one of the co-villains in the
Right.
movie because he accidentally kills his stuntman.
Wow, you really are laying out all the spoilers, aren't you?
I am. I'm sorry, but
We
here's
should put a warning on
but-
the
but-
beginning of this show.
and I did at the beginning. I said spoilers coming. Don't listen if you're. I
Okay.
disclaimered the shit out of
Alrighty.
this.
Sorry, folks.
And I'll even make sure it's in the intro when I put it in there. There are spoilers. It's clear that he wasn't trying to kill his stuntman. Like, he was screwing around. They were screwing around at the party. Stuntmen take shots.
I don't know if it was clear. I guess as long as we're going spoilers, I'll dive right in here. He tried to put Colt in his place by messing with his rigs, and which resulted in him breaking his back. He got upset with his stunt double because I think his name was Fred. I'm not 100% sure of that. But because he sassed him in front of a girl at a party saying, "Oh, yeah, you do your own stunts?"
Oh, no, he's a shit guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a shit human being.
I mean, he didn't panic when he killed him. He was just kind of like, oh, that happened.
Well, it's because he's like,
Womp
I've got the
womp.
people. I'll cover this up. But that's the question. So, first of all, the fact that he messed with his first stunts rig, that just felt very out of place. Like, I get the fact that he brought him in to try to frame him for the murder afterwards.
Well, he said, you're getting too full of yourself. You're being too cocky. Basically stealing my limelight, trying to act like you're all that. I'm the star here. Got to put you in your place, kind of a thing.
But
I can see that.
That didn't feel like.
Actors can be shallow
from the early part. I mean, not I'm gonna fuck with your stunt shallow, but
because even when he was talking about his jawline. And he was like, my jawline is much better than stunt double Colts. And, the switching in and out, people aren't going to notice my great jawline. So he was insecure.
Listen, yeah, clearly insecure, clearly a piece of shit.
So
I'm not arguing that, but there is a line between being a piece of shit and framing people for murder in a murder-suicide type thing. And, like, I don't know.
So what would you do if you accidentally pushed your double into a glass table and he died? What would you do?
I don't know. I honestly, if it's me, I'm probably going to the police. And I'm just going to try to be like, I've got a ton of witnesses to say that
they had a film.
Yeah, they had film. They had everything to basically show, hey, listen, there was no malintent in this. I felt like it was like they were fucking around. Like, I'm sassing you fucking around. I'm going to kick you because you're the stunt guy fucking around. Like, I felt like.
I think it was a little bit more angry than fucking around. But yeah, I mean, you could certainly explain it away. But he called his producer. His producer obviously had a lot on the line.
Oh, yeah, the producer. She really is who I'm putting as the main villain because she's the one who said
it.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And she's like, oh, I'll fucking tell you what to do.
Yeah, well, she's deeply embedded in Hollywood, and the last thing she wants is her star embedded in any sort of scandal or taken in for questioning or whatever. She's trying to produce a blockbuster. And
I did like the fact that she was a she, though.
Oh, the producer?
Oftentimes, it's going to be the male who's the piece of shit in that role.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see the females being a piece of shit, too.
Yeah.
Gender equality.
Yeah, absolutely. Women can be nefarious and cover up murders as well.
Yeah. So it's
equal opportunity.
Yeah, there's a lot of what would you do's in this movie.
So many.
Yeah, I like I said, I probably would have taken my chances with the police rather than because like he's a white dude, like he gets off because that's what he does. He's in Hollywood. He can say that he did it. He'll not guilty when it's all said and done.
So my final words on what would you do? I would say if I were you and if I was me and someone said, should I go see The Fall Guy? I would say yes. Loved it.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Hopefully you guys have seen it before you listen to this episode. Because if you didn't, I have just robbed you of a wonderful experience that you should have had already.
Scott robs people of joy.
I mean, it's kind of my thing sometimes.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.